Well, I'm a big conversationalist, so I listen, I'm always on guard. Yeah, I had a friend who used to say that Liz gets her magazine stories by going to a bar and talking to somebody, and just hearing something that sticks out, as interesting. So there's a lot of talking involved in my work, and I don't think that's necessarily all that common for writers. I think a lot of people become writers specifically because they can't abide that, and they don't want to be, in the mix and in the conversation, and they would prefer to be having a sort of hidden dialogue in silence. I'm not like that. So definitely I feel like I have to be engaged wherever I am with the people who are around me, that really helps a lot. And then, I'm just very, it's weird because in the rest of my life I'm not this way, but when it comes to writing I'm very disciplined. I grew up on a farm and I was the most useless person on that farm, but somehow I kind of took all those lessons about doing your chores and being responsible, and I applied them to this work. And so I was really bad at taking care of the chickens in the garden, but somehow it's the same muscles or something that I use. And when I'm working, I'm pretty diligent about kind of clearing out my life and setting aside huge periods of time, going to bed early, getting up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, working in this very rigorous kind of hour-by-hour disciplined way. And I can't focus or cope without that. So I can't write in chaos. So there's a certain amount of order that I have to keep in my life in order to be able to work. It's funny, actually, my meditation practice completely, what there is of it, completely drops away when I'm working. I think it's because the work is a meditation itself, and also because there is absolutely no way I would be able to quiet my mind when I'm in the process of creating, and I wouldn't want to. I kind of need to keep those ovens kind of fired up. I don't really want them to come down to a certain level of calmness. Although it is calming, oddly, because it's so, I don't know, such an enormous sense of focus, which is actually, of course, what meditation is. So instead of sitting in silence and staring at a candle, I'm sort of sitting in silence and staring at a page full of words and just trying to kind of drive my attention to solving whatever the problem is. And physically, that all falls away when I'm working too. Everything kind of falls away when I'm working, and which is part of the reason that I've found over the years that when it comes time to actually write a book, it's really kind of better if I go away. And as much as the beginning of my creative process is so much about being around people and ideas and conversation, once I'm actually working, I really sort of need to be in a cave by myself, not showering, and not talking to anybody, and not going to yoga class, and any sort of engagement becomes a really big distraction at that point. I think the physical surroundings affect enormously where you are and what you're writing about. I mean, for so much of my life, I actually went and kind of manipulated myself into particular physical surroundings, and certainly the book Eat, Pray, Love is all about what these three countries, Italy, India, and Indonesia, bring forth from me, and that's why the three sections of the book are so different, because they were composed in these different places. But I don't know. I'm changing about that now, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure anymore. My life has quieted down a lot, and now I live in New Jersey, so God knows what that's going to bring. But I don't know. Now I'm feeling a different impulse, which is about community and being in this small town and having certain daily rituals and having a garden and neighbors and pets, and all of that stuff kind of matters to me in a really serious way now, which makes me think that my work is probably going to change as a result, or maybe this is the beginning of a new topic of discussion in my mind.